Innovations like the AGT BeamMaster align with CMB's vision perfectly. Everything we do, every decision we make, every piece of equipment we invest in has to align with our values and the mission of building better buildings and building better lives. The quality, the predictability, the elevating the team members lines up exactly with our purpose and mission of the Building Better Lives portion of it and the Building Better Buildings.
My role as BeamMaster operator is I have to load in the beams into the machine here, pull up the file for the beams in question, basically have the robot continue to weld it. It'll weld as much as it can, and then I have to go and inspect its welds for any defects or missing welds and fix up whatever it didn't get. Learning to run the BeamMaster was challenging at first, but once you kind of get used to the ins and outs of it, it's fairly straightforward. Pretty simple push button system, does what you want. You just have to know a few technical things to keep it running.
The impact that the AGT BeamMaster has had is the predictability, the scheduling, the quality, the consistency. It's extremely accurate, and it is very close to the time frames that it provides us during the simulations. Allows us to schedule very, very accurately and then be able to pass that on to our builders and ultimately maintain or hold our tight schedules.
The BeamMaster is an innovative product, and it's specifically designed for structural steel fabricators, and even more specifically like Canadian metal buildings here for pre-engineered buildings. If you look at the BeamMaster, it looks typical to a robotic welding system, but if you look at it really closely, you can see it's specifically designed for structural steel. If you look at the robot transporter, it's got a specific arc on it so we can reach all angles of the beam and make sure that the welding is done with a very high consistency and high quality. So many of steel fabricators in the structural steel world are working with 3D platforms such as Tekla or SDS2. And what we're able to do is automatically generate the robot program for the highest level of productivity. I had the pleasure of working with Justin and Dan as we looked at the shop and said, how are we going to lay out the BeamMaster in this facility? And your productivity before, there were some things in the way. And right away, Justin and Dan said, right, no problem, we'll move it and we'll make it work for the BeamMaster. So that tells me that they understood the investment that it was going to take and the payout at the back end.
It's incredible. I think everyone's going to have to adopt it if they want to keep up. Shorten lead times. For us specifically too, we really focus on value over price, time to money. Time is a very valuable commodity that you cannot get more of, right? And we really appreciate and recognize that. And automation and innovation is going to allow us and the industry to buy back our time essentially and focus on more of those things that will move the needle.
This machine, compared to traditional welding methods, is technically it's a lot faster, I find, a lot more precise. It does a lot of the work for me. For a normal welder to weld a beam, they have to use an overhead crane to flip it all the different various ways. With the BeamMaster, it's in the rotator, so it just automatically rotates as it goes, so it saves time there. Frees up the crane for somebody else to use. It keeps me busy all the time. I'm constantly on the move, having something to do. We have 2 zones, so when it's welding in one zone, I'm unloading the beam from the other zone, loading the next one in, getting it ready. By the time that's all set up, this one's finished, I can just send the robot over here and then jump over to that beam.
I think what excites me most is just as I look around from when I was here before we implemented the BeamMaster and now, and see how busy the shop is. That excites me because it's just pure growth.